Hello there, everybody. Happy Sunday. Chief Meteorologist Andrea Michaels here with yet another Sunday on Cloud43, where we talk about the forecast for the week ahead, all of the happenings, a little bit of fun stuff, and of course, we take our good old time. This isn't like the newscast where we gotta cram a whole lot of information into 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes if I'm lucky. We get to take our time, ask some questions, and kind of nerd out over the sciencey part of it as well. So, with that said, we'll hop in and get right to it and talk about some of the headlines for the week ahead. Of course, big talk of the town. We've been talking about it for more than a week now, I feel like, or close to a week anyway. We're getting there. The December-like air that's going to be settling in starting early tomorrow morning, and then it's going to be a quick stay, but it'll bring, of course, some bitterly cold wind chills, especially for this time of year. For this point in November, gusty winds, flurries, yeah, you name it, the first flakes of the season. Spoiler alert, it's not going to accumulate or anything like that for us anyway, but they will get lake effect in the northwestern portion of the state and eastern spots, so that was definitely very fun to see. Oh, hello. I see some people are already hopping on here. Hello, Adam. Hi, Keith. Welcome back. Bradley, hello to you as well. And, oh, Scotty Diggs was amazing. Perfectly cooked seafood. I mean, they were wonderful. Those crab balls were delicious, and the boom boom sauce for dipping them, that was just so great. I loved it. We would definitely go there again. We will be there at some point in the future for sure. Greg, hello. Thank you for watching from Lancaster. And then, thank you, Keith. You're gonna make me blush so early here, but I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. It means a lot. And hello, Robert. All right, we're already getting some people hopping on, so we'll keep it moving, and hopefully people will keep trickling in now. But yes, so after this December-like air, we do moderate. This is going to be a quick hit of chill, and I think it's going to look like that for much of the rest of November, where we've got these swings. I really don't see many days, though, where I think it's going to get too mild. Maybe another quick cold hit before the month is up, but more or less, I think it'll look like it's, well, look and feel like it's November. But we will have a lingering breeze for the second half of the week. It's going to gradually peter out by about Friday or so. So with that in mind, I do want to point out, avoid, because it's still been so dry here lately, just avoid any outdoor burning. There's been a lot of brush fires in the last few weeks, in particular across our area. I mean, just always better to err on the side of caution and be safe than sorry. So that'll be something we talk briefly about because it's kind of one of the less exciting parts of the forecast. And the weekend too. The weekend's going to be dry and a bit on the cool side, but at least good for any outdoor fall fun activities you might have planned or still want to get in before it gets a little too chilly. Let me see. Down along the way. Keith. No. Yes. Let's get this party started. There we go. I was trying to figure out where I was, figuring out the comments here. Brad, another clipper next week. It's possible. It looks more like an upper level area of low pressure to me that may or may not get cut off, so that is very different from a clipper, but it'll try to act kind of clipper-esque, if that makes sense. Nah, I think the jury's still out on this one. I don't know how closely you follow meteorology, but if you're talking about the 12Z European model from earlier today, I say buyer beware on that one. But if that is what you're talking about, we can go over that a little bit more. I did see it. I'm not so sold on it yet. I don't really think the pattern truly supports this at the moment, but you know, sometimes you can overcome it. I might just pull up the CPC quickly just because of that. But I mean, we'll see. I've been surprised before, and other times not so much. Such is life. It's kind of the way, you know, it's kind of the way it works with weather. Meteorology is an imperfect science, but for the most part, it does pretty well. Anyways, let me see. Yeah, this is what I want to look at. I want to see how my indices are going to be doing here. Yeah. Let's see. What's today's date? Let's see. 17th. Next week. All right. Wouldn't entirely dismiss it based on what I'm seeing there, but anyway. Let's see. Now I'm catching up here, sorry. Thank you, William, for the big greetings. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Adam. I really appreciate that, too. Let's see. Oh, Keith, you say your local forecasters made their winter prediction? So we got ours completed actually last week. We did ours together as a team on Tuesday, and we're kind of working on piecing it together. I wrote the script for it at the end of last week. I've got some final touches to put on it, and I've got to build some graphics for it. But we're going to record it Tuesday and Sunday the 16th. So next Sunday, we're going to show what our predictions are. All I have to say is, I mean, if you're out, you know, if you are interior mid-Atlantic and Northeast and you're a snow lover, this winter might be a good winter for you. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Anyways, good evening, Jonathan. You're on time this time instead of the last, like, what was it, 3 minutes like you were last week? Hi, Irving. Welcome. Hello, Mike from New Jersey. Oh, and thank you, William. That's so kind of you. And then, yeah, Dominic, what is happening? Oh, lots happening here for sure. Always a lot happening in the world of weather. So with that said, let's get to it. This is South Central PA's weather impact 7-day forecast. It starts with some burr, ends with some breezes, and then just kind of turns quiet, at least temporarily, into the weekend. So we'll keep an eye on conditions. We'll see how things go, but overall, not bad. Man, I feel like I need a sip of tea already. When it's later in the evening, I do matcha and not coffee because it doesn't like have that jittery crash. I kind of feel like I get that second wind that I need after the morning coffee and whatnot, and it gets me through the day. So yes, it's a magic green potion if you were able to see inside my cup somehow. But yes, blustery, the F word, flurries, not that F word, friends. This is a rated G program here. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm a little mid-cheesy mood today, I guess, more than usual. So 40s, and then you'll notice the average here in Harrisburg for today's date is 57 degrees. So we'll be more or less near, if not a touch cooler, by like a few degrees at best, a touch cooler than averages through much of this forecast period. So, I mean, a quiet week overall. A little rumbly in some spots. I don't know if anybody lives near the Mason-Dixon line in, say, southern York or Lancaster counties, but you probably did see some lightning in the distance with this guy moving through. Seen a little rumble or two. Let's see if any of them actually did make it or if it stayed. Oh, it looks like these might have just barely been in Maryland. Kind of a close call seeing if they actually did clip those portions of York and Lancaster, but you probably would see it in the distance, of course, with how close it is. So, I mean, that's, you know, hey, that's about as exciting as I can get sometimes in November here, a few rumbles around. But let's get a wider view and talk about it. This is kind of the last bit of the rain that's on its way out. Everything behind it is just wraparound, what we call wraparound precipitation anyway. And you can see this is obviously in the form of both rain showers. And once you get the colder air, snow showers. Like I said, it's not going to be too impressive here, but Great Lakes region, northwestern Pennsylvania, they actually do have some lake effect snow watches in effect. Or not lake effect snow, they don't do those anymore, excuse me. Winter weather watches in effect because there are spots in Erie County and some surrounding areas that could get more than 6 inches of snow out of this as far as lake effect goes. And then I believe it's the Laurel Highlands that stand a chance of getting 1 to 3 inches with this. So that would be their first, accumulations of the year too. Oh, hold on. I see, man, you guys are chatty already tonight. Holy tamale. I'm going to have to work extra hard to keep up with your comments. I'm sorry. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Wow, you guys are super chatty. Keep it going, though. That is not a complaint. Yeah, Jonathan, let's go. Thank you, Kenneth. And then, yeah, you're on time. I'm glad you're on time, Jonathan. Irving, the cold snap, knocking on our doorstep. You better be ready tomorrow and Tuesday. Yeah, Monday night will be the worst of it, though, just to be clear, and we'll talk about that. Oh, thank you. I try to be, thank you, Bill. I try to be as down to earth as possible. It's just kind of my style. I believe that, what you see is what you get with me, for better or for worse. And then, yes, I definitely like William drinking my stuff here for sure. And good, Jordan. I'm glad you don't think I'm too cheesy. I mean, you got to keep it interesting, right? It's got to be fun. Got to have a little fun here if you're going to be joining me for at least 30, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how long it takes me to shut my trap. Anyways, it's a shame that the rubber bands don't just seal them shut so I can't talk anymore, right? Nah, that's assuming everybody doesn't want to hear me talk, but he's making a joke. Anyways. Yeah, I saw some of the flashes in the distance, Jonathan. I didn't hear any thunder, so, I mean, it was close, obviously. And if you look at that, if you look at this, it does look pretty impressive. From Chester County stretching down Delmarva and even into Virginia there. That's a nice little convective line that's getting started here. Let's go. Keith, you type as fast as you can. Good. Glad to hear that. The forecast seems one day later than over here in southwestern PA. Yeah, I would say that's about accurate. Maybe a half a day. Depends, but more or less. Oh, Bill, Fun Grove had a thunderstorm. Okay, so some of those rumbles did just clip you. Okay, alrighty. It looked like a close call there on the radar. A little hard to tell with how fast it was looping. Had a long weekend. Fun long weekend, though. A fun one, but my eyes, it's like, oh boy, come on, trying to keep up here. But yes, we've got some of the white stuff in store. In the meantime, we do have some dense areas of fog that have developed, mostly throughout parts of York, Lancaster, Lebanon, and Dauphin counties. Dew points out to the west are already dropping, so that's why you'll notice the lack thereof in our western counties, from Lewistown to Chambersburg, Carlisle, and whatnot. So I think, as we see the front continue to move through, that drier air is going to get in. So I don't think the fog will hang around through the night, but it's going to be a little rough in spots. When I was coming back from dinner break, rushing to get here in time after dinner, yeah, it was a little rough in a few spots, and obviously getting dark early doesn't really help with that now, but that time of year, it is what it is. So let's get us through Futurecast right now. We are looking at the rain showers pretty much out of here through the next several hours or so, aside from a few leftovers. We might get some breaks of sunshine in the morning to start, closest to the Mason-Dixon line. Whenever we're talking lake effect, usually, the sunnier side of things tends to be to our south and to our east. And you'll notice the northern half of our area, yeah, not so much. Notice, though, the snow showers, the lake effect, woohoo, the flurries around. You'll notice them during the afternoon, so don't be surprised. Again, here in south central Pennsylvania, just to be clear, this area here, this isn't going to accumulate. You have to go up around here. This is kind of the highlighted area, more or less, where those accumulations are expected, and then again in the Laurel Highlands and whatnot. Just to the west of the Alleghenies. That's looking like the favorable zones. Those are looking like the favorable zones, excuse me. Jordan, I'm glad, yes. Well, we had a halftime update cut in, and we're kind of at the mercy of, how long the first half takes. So it was like 6:0 something when it finally happened, like 2 or 3, some random number like that, maybe 5 actually. So I had to run home, eat dinner quickly, and then come back because my amazing husband waits and will have dinner ready so that we can all have dinner together, the 3 of us, and he's just, yeah. So I had to quickly shove down some food. I had to brush a couple rabbits, and they were not happy about it, but they had to get their little brushing done because they're floofy. And then I got back here with just enough time to make sure I had everything lined up in order the way I wanted it, throw my dress back on, and here we are. And yes. Good evening, Jason! Hooray, you're here! I was hoping I'd see you. No, it's okay. Don't worry about being late, friend. You're planting rye barley. Oh, you're planting a rye and barley mix. Oh, that's great. Boy. Yeah, you wanted to beat the rain this week. I mean, we did at least get a little bit of rain, some decent rain in spots. That's a good thing. Oh no, Adam, I'm so sorry to hear that you broke your foot. You're in a boot now? Gosh, that's the worst. My husband, he sprained his foot, and it was the same foot 2 times. The first one was our honeymoon a little more than 11 years ago now, and the second time was a couple years ago, 2, maybe 3 years ago now. Wasn't that far in the past. And it was the same foot, and both times he sprained them so bad that it would have been better apparently if he broke it instead. That always makes me think of that. I'm sorry. I hope you heal as quickly as possible, and if you need any therapy to help get it moving and back in tip-top shape, I hope that goes as quickly and as painlessly as possible. Oh, Keith, I'm in the studio. Yeah, oh no, I made it. I don't live too far from the studio, fortunately. It's like a 15 to 20 minute drive for me, depending on traffic, so that's really nice. So, I mean, I was able to make the hustle and get back here. Thank goodness, because I was hungry too. Anywho, back to the forecast. I'm trying not to derail this train too much and too long. Most of the time. Anyways, so by the afternoon, I mean, don't be surprised. Tomorrow, would it be shocking if we got some sprinkles at first? Because I think a lot of us will be in the mid-40s. Just because we're going to get such a mild start with temperatures on either side of 40 degrees. So I definitely wouldn't rule it out either as the cold air comes in that we get that fancy little term called grapple. It's like a powdery ice pellet, and it often gets mistaken for snow or sleet. It is neither. It is made from a process called rimming, and it's a very fun process, and we've got a nice little graphic that explains it. But basically, snowflakes melt onto super cooled water droplets, and it makes this really interesting, very interesting texture. It's just, yeah. So every now and then, you might see those. Those are usually on those milder days where we've got enough cool air aloft to do it. So mid-40s, upper 40s is definitely, they're definitely a temperature range where you got to look for them. Oh, thank you, Jordan. Yeah, super mom. I mean, I guess that's the name for it. Yeah, he definitely does. Absolutely. You called it crap. What did you call crap? Sorry, Dominic, I'm not sure what you're responding to. You'll have to clarify for me. You called it? What? Oh, the snow? Is that it? You don't want any of it? I don't know. Or the cold? Anyway, yeah, so as we get colder Monday night and into Tuesday, it will just be pure lake effect. And I mean, look at these lake effect snow bands, man. I mean, that's just nice. So like I said, usually these are under model too. So Monday night into Tuesday morning, flurries, some snow showers trickling down as far southeast as York and Lancaster counties would not shock me. And as the winds change and they turn, the lake effect band will turn too. So they'll gradually shift a little bit more to the north starting Tuesday morning. This will be the coldest one too, by the way. We'll talk about those, but yes, this is definitely going to be a brr with like 20 hours afterwards type of cold. And the wind won't entirely settle either, so wind chills, yeah, our favorite word, wind chills, are busting them out for the first time, the first, official time where it's very relevant this season. But yeah, notice those lake effect bands. That's why they have the winter storm watches for the lake effect, of course. It's just, it's that time of year. It's November, lake effect in November. This is nothing new for everybody, especially the west and northern portion of the state. And then as the winds shift and an upper level trough lifts out of here, we'll start to see some clearing and the snow showers shut down during the afternoon, and then that'll be that. So it got me thinking, and I posted this on my page, but in case you haven't seen this graphic yet pop up in your feed from me, I was wondering, when is the average first snowfall, measurable snowfall? This map specifically is from NOAA. I tweaked our area a little bit with some more precise climatology from the National Weather Service over at State College. I had a graphic that I had made years ago for a previous segment I did at one point called Weather Rewind, so I figured that would be a great opportunity to bust that out. And here you go. Like I said, this is nothing new for this time of year. Early November, late November, that's these purples. Early November, that's where you start to see lake effect. Late November, a little bit more into central and northeastern Pennsylvania. October, though, this is where you really get it early. The Intermountain West. This obviously can't come as a shock to a lot of people, especially the folks who live there, of course. And yes, the rare and very rare categories here down in Texas, Louisiana, the rest of the Gulf states, and obviously the desert areas too, where they don't get the snow. Very rarely, if they do anyway. But I'll give you a better look out to the west, though, because I know with the curvature of this globe here, maybe it was a little difficult to see some of that. Obviously, because, coastal areas coming off of the Pacific, you have to go a little bit more inland near the mountains, of course, to get that uplift and get those cold temperatures to have that snow. So that's why you tend to get the average first snowfall earlier, and then much later the closer to the coast you are, at least on the west coast. But it's a kind of similar scenario over here on the east coast. So we'll zoom in. We'll take a nice little look at the mid-Atlantic. So early November, this is technically early November, so climatologically speaking, this is kind of right on track for some of our first accumulating snowfall for folks here. Late November for this other purple color. I don't do well with in-between shades, so you'll just have to bear with me. I don't know, is this a fuchsia? I don't know. This light purple, this is a good portion of our area, South Central PA, and then you have to wait until, early December at this point when you're getting into this light purple. Should have mentioned that. And then late December as you get closer to the coast, of course. Makes sense, right? Little different. We'll take a look. This is our little small 10-county area in South Central Pennsylvania. This is the one that I say is a little more tailored thanks to the National Weather Service and State College. They had posted this a while back, and I made a graphic of it just to have it and show you folks. So, this is the first measurable snowfall, to be clear, which is 1/10 of an inch. Anything less than that is considered not measurable. It would be a trace. It could be anything from a few flakes to, maybe a little coating on a car, like a little, not even like a big coat, like maybe like a patch of a coating on a car. I'm not thinking a full-on coating here. That's just kind of what we're talking about here. November 20th, though, that is Mifflin County. We're obviously getting close to that in the northern parts of Mifflin County, and then much of Mifflin, Juniata, northern Perry, northern Dauphin. Got to wait till closer to the end of the month, and then we get to the first of the month and a little bit after that. This is kind of the 1st through the 4th in this ocean blue color. I said I'm bad with in-between colors, guys. And then the white is around December 5th. And then obviously the farther southeast you go, milder you tend to be. That's in parts of York and Lancaster counties where your average first 10th of an inch of snowfall is usually around the 10th. Oh, I've got some catching up to do once again. Yes, that stuff between sleet and snow. That's what I mean by grapple, Dominic. Yes. Yes, that's a very good way to explain it. It kind of is. Oh, thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. And then Keith, yeah, looks like the dipping. Yes, the dipping dots. Oh my gosh, I never thought of it like that before. My little one is obsessed with dipping dots. As is any kid. I spit because I got so excited. God, that's embarrassing. I probably could have got away with it if I didn't say anything. Gosh darn it. Why did I do that? Anyways. Moving on. Yeah, snow. Oh, man. We're not snowing just yet. Greenfield Lawn Care and Landscaping. Not a lot, anyway. Here, anyway. Oh, that's good that you're taking on new customers for snow. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it's almost that time. We're getting there. Oh, Jonathan. Ooh. Do I think this winter will be more front or back end loaded? That's kind of a loaded question. We did work on our winter weather forecast and we're doing it a little differently. I'm going to put out a map of projected totals instead of ranges by Lewistown, Harrisburg, and Lancaster. So we'll have a map that looks like this right here, and we'll have our predictions. I already have it drawn out. It's not a very good drawing, but I at least have the ranges of what we came up with. And we decided to do points this time too. Because when we looked at our analog years, and for folks who might not know what that is, it's years that we think look similar to how this year's projected to be. So a week La Nina at the start, kind of tapering for the second half of winter. Maybe we hang on to it a little longer. There's only a 55% chance that we switch to neutral. So that's not exactly the strongest leaning. So you kind of have to anticipate at least the possibility of it hanging around just a wee bit longer. But Jonathan, that does play a role in the back-loading potential. I'll give a little bit of a hint here, and because I don't want to give it all away yet. We could front load with the cold, but we might not have much white to show for it. And I'll leave it at that. You have to stay tuned until next Sunday, Jonathan, for the rest of it. Yeah, I know. That's great, right? Jordan, that I didn't spit on anybody. It just, you know, the glass shield here protects everybody. We'll say that. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, this is fun. It's that time of year. It's exciting. It's also a very busy time with us putting together this forecast because it's obviously a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into it. And I do have to get in a little early Tuesday because Tony and I are going to record it together and present it. But everybody has a hand in it. We all did the forecast together. Tony, Grant and Jake are doing their own little teaser winter weather packages, just some preparation stuff as a way to, you know, preparation tips and whatnot as a way to kind of tease ahead to it. And, you know, that'll be this week starting Wednesday and then Thursday and Friday before we have our big special. I mean, it's only going to be about 2 to 2.5 minutes. I mean, we haven't recorded it yet, but according to the script I have written out and that I've timed out, it's about that much. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Boo, you have to wait. But sometimes things are worth the wait, Jonathan. And with what I have and what I know you like, I think you're going to kind of like what I have to say this season, as opposed to previous seasons. All right, now I got to move on because I'm really like teetering close to that. I'm just going to give it all away, give away all my secrets. So we'll have some obviously pretty gusty winds that'll come along with the lake effect. That's how we're getting those bands in place. So it is going to be gusty all across the state. That includes here in south central Pennsylvania. The strongest of the gusts, though, we're not expecting them until Tuesday. It'll be pretty blustery. Tomorrow's wind gusts, though, I mean, they'll be impressive for sure. Wind, wind, and more wind. That's been like the last 2 to 3 weeks. My goodness, I'm almost over it already. I can't remember if November started that breezy, but last year, but yeah, here we are regardless. 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts Monday, so wind chill, that's going to be a factor. I'm just remembering now, I didn't put pause points in my wind chill graphic. Oh, poo, that's annoying. Darn. So I guess I'm going to have to just say it right off the bat here that I think wind chills Monday are going to be in the 30s. Tuesday morning, they are going to be in the teens and in the 20s. Yeah, that's, I still have my tubs and my bins up in my room because I have not been able to get to changing out my closet. So, I mean, at least I know I've got my sweaters ready. I just gotta wrinkle them out a little bit. Hopefully de-wrinkle them or whatever as quickly as possible. They're ready to go. And then Tuesday, that's when we will have our 30 to 35 mile an hour wind gusts. They won't start off that strong in the morning. If you look at this graphic, you know, the wind gusts will be 20, 25 miles an hour, but I think they will turn quite breezy. It won't take too long after sunrise. It usually doesn't in these situations. And then, of course, everything will taper. We'll still have a breeze Wednesday. A weak system's going to try to ripple through, goes through dry. It's not going to be a bother or a pain. And then, yeah, we'll continue to have these 20 mile an hour wind gusts that kind of just hang around into Thursday. And, you know, they're lighter, so they're not going to be as bothersome. But again, I just want to say it in case you jumped on later. Avoid the outdoor burning. I definitely know that, shoot, where is he? Is he still on here? Jason, there he is. Okay, yeah. Jason, I know he will love to chime in about all the brush fires he's had to deal with in the last few weeks. So, I mean, just avoid that outdoor burning. Better to be safe than sorry, folks. I mean, yeah, it spreads so quickly and it's so hard to contain once it gets started. So, just be careful, everybody. Oh yeah, it'll be, yeah. Well, it also depends on where in New York, William, because yes, it will be colder the farther north and especially northwest you live. I'm sure Buffalo's going to have a time. And all those other lake effect favorable areas near Ontario. I mean, that time of year for everybody. Keith, you said Friday night you had high winds, 40 miles an hour in your area. We had some 40 to even 50 mile an hour wind gusts, and if I'm not mistaken, I swear we clocked in, would have been Wednesday, was it maybe? Oh man, it escapes me. I think it was Wednesday night. We had a cold front go through. It was really potent, and it brought some very impressive, during the evening, some very impressive 60 mile an hour gusts, near 60. We had some spotty power outages and some spotty wind damage where trees, they all got uplifted. So here's the upper level pattern. This is kind of, you know, the bluish areas, those are your colder blobs that are often associated with areas of low pressure. The warmer colors, like your yellows, your oranges, your reds, are obviously your warmer temperatures. And this kind of surge, we call these ridges. These are often associated with high pressure, which means drier weather. So if you're in a dip here, cool and unsettled. So we're getting the unsettled part out of the way here, but we will be left with the cold. So this cold core of air just kind of settles down. And temperatures, especially along and west of the Appalachians, and those are going to be anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees below normal for this time of year, maybe even close to 20 in some spots. For us, I mean, let me see, yeah, we'll be roughly in that 10 to 15 range. We won't be any of the more extreme ones, but we've got it and it's coming our way. Now, it is quick to lift out. The one hint about this was that it was going to be a brief stay. We'll still run a little on the cool side. There's a second little wave. You see a little crinkle here, kind of a little dip. It's very subtle, but that's just indicating another weak front that's just trying to move through and get on out of here. it won't do anything for us other than keep it breezy. And then it'll be a lingering breeze into Thursday. So we see some ridging that's going to try to boost in. But you'll notice this cold pocket of air that gets stuck right in southeastern Canada. So it kind of stops the ridging, which would also stop the warm-up in this place. So that's why we don't have any big warm-up just yet for the weekend. Question is, how much, if any, can we sneak in there? And then here is the upper level area of low pressure that we'll have to keep an eye on early next week. So it tries to cut off from the jet stream. It's trying. I don't think it's exactly getting there just yet. It'll be interesting to see how this develops early next week. This obviously would be day 8 in the forecast period, so this is technically what I would call imagination land at this point. But this would be our next opportunity for precipitation. More than likely in the form of rain, but depending on the ultimate track, I think this is what, I forget who it was, but I think this is who's, someone was asking, this is a clipper. I wouldn't call it a clipper, not yet anyway, not unless it kind of changes in its makeup and how it's going to behave. But as it moves from west to east, we'll keep an eye on it. Right now it looks like more than not we have a pretty good chance of being like warm, rainy side. It's hard to say yet if any snow showers will mix in, but if you happen to see other social media outlets kind of being like, oh, the Euro has snow, buyer beware, that's just one run. We'll see in the days to come. We do have a negative, eventually what's going to be a more negative leaning NAO, which could favor at least the cold and therefore the more unsettledness. I mean, it can't rule it out looking at that, but also sometimes, you know, you can have that in place and then when you get to 2-3 days, you know, it just doesn't track the right way for you. So it's really hard to say. Even more than 6 or 7 days out, sometimes it can be really hard to say. That's why most 7 days are 7 days instead of, you know, anything beyond that. But then we do see, notice these cool pockets of air already trying to sit over the northeast. I think that's going to be a sign of things to come moving into December. We just have this La Nina pattern already set up, and we're just getting the storm track to kind of go like that. So it'll be really interesting to see how that works into December. December's looking like it could be pretty cold. That's for sure. Cold in the meantime, though. Here's a look at this. Temperatures, yep, these are highs. These are not lows. But yes, you'll notice these temperatures are pretty chilly. I mean, this is close to our average lows, which is in the mid and upper 30s. I don't like when I get to see that. But we've got 40s tomorrow. We probably won't see temperatures budge too much during the daytime hours. Tuesday, colder start. That's why the wind chills are going to be not fun. And then we moderate for the second half of the week. So, I mean, we thaw out a little. We're just starting to get these little tastes of winter trying to slip in. Oh, we've got some more comments here. Blah, blah. I gotta catch up. Guys, sorry. Let's see. It was Thursday night. Okay, Keith. Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those days last week. Where are we? It was raining. That's why I think it was Wednesday, because I swear Wednesday. We had a wind advisory, too, for it. And I know we had a high wind watch that didn't end up becoming a high wind warning for Mifflin and for Juniata counties in our area. They just ended up going with wind advisory. And we were kind of a little shocked, too. We underestimated the mixing that would take place, getting some of those stronger low-level jet winds down to us and whatnot. They probably could have gone with a high wind warning in the NWS, and that would have been great if they did, interestingly enough. Keith, you say, is it possible to have a, say, lower layer of cold air and on top of it is warmer and then another cold layer and so on? If this is it, what type of weather would happen? Some sort of sleet. That's what, I mean, I guess it depends on how much switching back we're talking here. I would say sleet's probably your best scenario based on what I think you're trying to say here. I guess the question is for the lower layer of cold air, how cold are we talking? Are we talking 32 or less? And how thick is it? Because that can make the difference about freezing rain or sleet. The thickness of those layers also plays a role, but yeah, it's definitely not snow and it's definitely not all rain. It's one of those in-between types. And yeah, Jonathan, you're correct. Yeah, he did call it. Yes, he did. Jonathan's a little bit of a weather nerd. He's very interested in it. And he's a big winter weather lover, so of course he would know that. You have no idea what you're trying to ask? Well, it sounded like you did. Just go with it and pretend you knew what you were talking about, because you did a great job convincing me. All right, wind chills. You gotta look at these quickly. Is it gonna play out? What's happening here? Oh gosh, I didn't even do this graphic right, period. Oh, delightful. Well, I'm sorry about that, guys. At least I gave you the wind chills and everything earlier. Here, I'll summarize it. We'll go back a graphic and I'll summarize it. I think this will be a better way to do it, hopefully. Let's see. Can I do a text box? Oh, not the way I want to. Never mind. I'll just turn you off. Let's see. Can I just write with you? Hi. Okay, good. This does let me write. I don't have to just draw straight up line segments. I had to test it and remember this. All right, so wind chills. Oh, I do have to do long segment type things. There we go. 30s. Oh, this is a sad looking S. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying for you. Anyway. Does the rain in Spain fall mainly on the plain? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Now you're just trying too hard. All right. Tuesday, wind chills. These, once we get past the morning where they're in the teens in some spots, these will be in the 20s and the 30s during the daytime hours. Come on here, what are you doing? Make an S. Squiggle. Hey, there we go. Close enough. And then more 30. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. There we go. I have to say, this is not bad. I think I'm doing a good job here, all things considered. So yeah, those are your wind chills here. We'll draw a line here because, yeah, there we go. And then we'll draw a line here too because that is not for Wednesday. Wednesday, you don't really do wind chills when you've got 50s. Thank you. I'm glad somebody appreciates me trying here. You know, with all the rushing that I did, go figure, I missed something. I almost thought I got away okay, but alas. All right, hopping along now, moving forward. Here's the 7-day forecast again. Think of your final questions because we're wrapping this up. We're putting a nice little pretty bow on it. We're getting toward the end of our time here. Lows in the 40s. Around 40 anyway, Monday. But this is another reason why, Tuesday morning is not going to be good. We could get temperatures in the 20s in some spots. It's really going to be the winds more than anything. Winds are always so tricky with lows in this area because if they're too strong, you can't get that cold air mass completely over the mountains just yet. And then the winds too. Winds, you got to think about it like this. It's the air particles, there's tiny particles moving really, really fast, and the wind moving them fast, they're rubbing against each other. So lows can't drop. That's friction, that's warmth. Lows can't drop as low as they normally would. So we usually, if this was clear skies, I would go like low to mid 20s Tuesday. We're definitely trying to aim a little higher, and I even question if that 30 might be a little too low for Tuesday morning. But the end result will be the same. I mean, the wind chills will still be in the teens and 20s, whether or not that's a 28 or a 34. It's still going to be burr in the morning and still burr in the afternoon, obviously. And then like typical cold mornings in the 30s the rest of the week, a little on the cold side anyway, our lows, and then a little on the cool side here. And then back to dry. Again, the breezy days, just to say that for sure. Breezy days, be careful. No burning, guys. Just not worth the risk. All those brush fires in the last few weeks in our area, it's been not good, for sure. A little more rain would be nice, but, you know, we're at the mercy of Mother Nature, unfortunately. It's an old saying, Keith. I have never heard of that then. I've heard of many old sayings. That was not one of them. And thank you, Jordan. I'm glad you appreciated my best effort. And I do appreciate that. I'm glad to hear it's raining in New York, William. Where in New York are you? I'm just curious. Are you eastern part of the state, western, northern, like near Canada? Shoot, what are they called up there? Adirondacks. That's the mountain range I was looking for. Curious to know. And then, Adam, why do you always care about that? I'm fine, man. I'm a warrior when it comes to that. As long as I don't have to sneeze. Anyways. Oh, Keith, the sunrises and sunsets to remind you of the early darkness. I figured I kind of, I thought I made you guys all depressed enough with the posts I made about that last week. I figured I'd give that a little bit of a break, and instead I threw the snow graphic out at you. The average first snowfall, measurable snowfall of the season, just to spice it up and keep it a little fresh for you guys. And depending on your point of view, maybe a little less depressing. And also, depending on your view, maybe it is more depressing. But yes, well, Jordan, I'll try to keep it going as long as I can, but I gotta work on that winter weather project, getting it put together, and everything else. I have to finish up our December schedule. It's great for the weather department. I've had so much on my plate behind the scenes, I barely have time to breathe. It's been lovely. But once I get past this week, smooth sailing till the next thing. Don't y'all love adulting? Sometimes I look at my bunnies and I'm like, gosh, I just want a bunny one day for my life. One day of my life, I just want a bunny. Be one of my bunnies specifically, because they're spoiled, rotten little fur balls, and they know it. They absolutely know it and take full advantage of mommy and daddy. Anyways, later, Dominic. Thank you for tuning in. No more tea. Yeah. Makes me a little too crazy. See, I told you, it's just that right caffeine kick that I need, you know, without keeping me wired when I want to go to bed, when it's midnight and I'm ready to hop in bed after I get home. It's perfect. Highly recommend matcha. Anyway, how many hours a day do I have to work? I mean, I do work a normal 8-hour shift. I break it up, though, and usually take a longer dinner break. So I get in at, like, noon, and then I'll leave at 6. Unless there's severe weather, then I'll stay through dinner. And then I'll get back at 9 and work until 11. But there have been some nights this last week where I've worked a little later just because I've had a lot of things to do. And, you know, sometimes that's life. Yep. We work hard for our money, right? Gotta grind. Nothing gets done if you don't do it, right? Anyways, I guess that'll do it here. I'm not seeing any more questions popping up here pertaining to the forecast. Again, I appreciate everybody jumping on again and talking the forecast. It's always a great time. I love that everybody was just chiming in immediately. Oh man, it's great. I love that we've got such a good thing going here. Yeah, it is longer than 8 hours, Keith, but hey, who's counting? Anyways, maybe that's why I'm always so tired all the time. But, oh, Chris, thank you. I appreciate that. That really means a lot. Thank you. We really try our best and, you know, put our heart and soul into everything. And I definitely do. I get obsessive, especially as we get into the winter. Well, too obsessive. But it's because we care, and that's good. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great rest of your Sunday. Great week ahead. Stay warm, everybody, particularly Tuesday morning. And, of course, you know, drop a line. Try to drop some questions. I'll try my best to, definitely. Oh, Jordan. Oh, I absolutely do. Yep, and we got to do all these vertical videos now, and those take time. So, oh man, you feel so swamped. It's just, whew. Some of my posts are automated, like the ones in the morning, so I take advantage of that. But I mean, I think it's only 3 graphics a day that I have automated just to, like my 7-day, the planner in the morning, and then there's an afternoon one that right at noon that actually does. But yeah, and yes, Keith, I do like weather. It helps. It definitely does. But yes, good night, everybody. Sorry, I know I said bye and then I started answering questions because they started popping up. I guess it's that Facebook delay. Gotta love it. Anywho, have a good week, everybody. I'll see you all next Wednesday. Take care. Or next Wednesday. Sunday. Take care.